When I was 17, I walked into my childhood home, only it wasn't my home anymore. The windows were dark, the lights off, and on the kitchen counter sat a single note in my mother's handwriting. "You'll figure it out." 4 words that cut deeper than any scream. In that instant, everything I believed about family, love, and safety shattered. I wasn't just alone, I was erased. And surviving that shock was only the start of what would become the most harrowing, transformative years of my life. The first night I tried the library, I printed resumes on borrowed computers, eyes heavy with disbelief. My stomach growled as I scrolled through job listings: server, dishwasher, receptionist, anything. I left with a dozen applications and a resolve I didn't know I had. By day 2, I was crashing on a friend's couch, swallowing shame with every creak of the blanket. Dinner was a spoonful of peanut butter stolen from the school cafeteria. Breakfast and lunch were the same. I learned how to shower at the YMCA, how to ration library printing credits, how to smile through the hunger in my bones. That wasn't survival, it was trial by fire. But that night shift at the diner became my lifeline. I showed up before sunrise, hands trembling but determined. The manager, Groff Fair, noticed I was on the brink of collapse and let me nap in the break room. I worked midnight to 6, heartsick yet electric with adrenaline. Every tip went into my savings jar. Every spilled coffee taught me resilience. I watched free YouTube tutorials on personal finance under flickering fluorescent lights, scribbling notes on the back of receipts. I was building a foundation out of scraps. Then came the turning point. A regular customer slid a form across the counter. "Try this," he said, eyes soft but urgent. I laughed, me cleaning offices. But 2 days later, cash in hand, I realized triple the pay beats a diner wage any day. I accepted, and suddenly my world expanded. Daylight hours, a real name badge, a uniform that didn't attract pity. I scrubbed desks and emptied trash with the same intensity I'd reserved for survival. Every rubber-gloved hand an affirmation that I could climb out of that hole. By 22, freelancing felt natural. Copywriting, basic bookkeeping, anything. I paid more than minimum wage. I spent nights teaching myself new skills. Digital marketing, graphic design, even basic coding. Each completed project was another brick in the wall I built between myself and that storage unit bed. By 25, I'd launched a small consulting business, just me, a borrowed laptop and a folding table in a shared workspace. I learned to negotiate contracts, deliver on promises, and swallow every criticism as fuel. Bank statements transformed from authoritative reminders of debt into proof of progress. At 29, I cried when I saw my bank app hit 7 figures. Not for social media, not for Clutrial savings, zero debt, a retirement account that would make my parents' heads spin. I sat on my balcony, morning breeze in my hair, and I let the tears come. Each drop was a milestone. Late-night library sessions, shift after shift at the diner, every single handwritten receipt carefully stashed. And then, just as I thought I was safe, their messages began to trickle in. First, a terse email from my brother. "We miss you. Can we fix this?" No apology. No explanation. Just a doorway cracked open. My heart pounded, part longing, part suspicion. Then my mother's message: "You're still our daughter. We've been worried." Her words sounded clinical, like she was updating a spreadsheet. I didn't answer. I called my therapist, Melissa, and she said, "Wait, feel what you feel, don't rush their narrative." So I waited a week, sleep disrupted by notification pings. I went to the gym, I worked late, but inside, every message echoed. Finally, I replied to my brother. I typed, 12 years. What changed? His response came in under an hour. Business failed, medical bills. Jessica's pregnancy. He painted them as victims of circumstance. I read it twice. If he cared, why hadn't he cared 17 years ago? His words felt incomplete, like a puzzle missing pieces. That same day, my mother sent a folder of old family photos. Beach days when I was 5. Birthday cakes under pastel balloons, snowman building in the driveway. "We made mistakes," she wrote. "We want to make amends." I forwarded everything to Melissa. She nodded. "Boundaries are your birthright." And so I agreed to meet my brother. No parents. No lawyers, just him and me. We chose a coffee shop in Chicago, halfway between our cities. I arrived early, chest tight like a fist. He arrived late, hair graying, eyes apologetic. The first 20 minutes stuttered through small talk, weather, traffic, mundane filler. Then his apology poured out. "I was afraid. They told me you chose to stay behind." "I didn't know." His voice cracked as he described the lies they'd spun, how they convinced themselves they were saving me. I listened, arms folded, vulnerable, but guarded. When he finally said, "I'm sorry," and hugged me, something inside me clenched. I hugged back softly, but it wasn't forgiveness, it was reconnaissance. That evening, I sat with my journal and scribbled every line from our conversation, weighing truth against habit. I didn't know then how fast the storm would return. Texts began slipping through like barbs. Family matters should stay in the family. Photos of Lily at preschool, tagged and shared. Guess who's watching? A brick through Michael's car window. Mysterious flowers at my door. My apartment felt less like sanctuary and more like a cage with invisible bars. I worked in the daylight, but spent nights double-checking locks. When the harassment shifted to threats, emails, warning, "Last chance, Emma. You'll regret this," I shut down. I texted Melissa, "I can't live like this." She told me to gather evidence. Every brick, every text, every photo was a piece in a puzzle of intimidation. And so, with trembling hands, I compiled the case in the courtroom. Sterile lights overhead. I watched my parents sit across from me, older, smaller, stripped of the veneer of authority. Marcus, my lawyer, laid out a timeline: abandonment at 17, years of silence, months of harassment. Exhibit A, the note they left. Exhibit B, the storage unit receipts. Exhibit C, threatening texts. My parents offered denials, excuses, half-truth. When the judge granted a 3-year restraining order, I exhaled a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Paper had power. Boundaries had weight. And yet, even as we left the courthouse, I wondered if it was enough. Fear lingered like a ghost. But in that shadow, something bright grew. A chosen family. Michael, his wife Jenny, and little Lily. They welcomed me into their home when I needed refuge. Shared laughter over burnt pancakes. Taught me the warmth of trust reborn. Jenny's quiet hugs. Lily's sloppy kisses on my cheeks. These were the moments that stitched my heart back together. 6 months later, a letter arrived, handwritten, brief, containing no demands, just these words: "We failed you. We understand why you want nothing to do with us. We are in therapy and will respect the order. We hope someday you can forgive." I keep that letter tucked in my desk drawer, not as a promise to reconcile, but as proof that even the most fractured bonds can bend toward accountability. Today, I'm not defined by that note on the counter. I'm defined by every step I took to build a life worth living. I'm defined by the boundaries I set, the people who chose me, the love I found in places I never expected. I still have therapy weekly. I still wake at night, heart racing, when I hear a door click. But I also wake with hope. Hope that I belong to a family I choose. One built on respect and truth. So if you're out there feeling cast aside, remember this: your story is yours too, right? You'll figure it out on your own terms, in your own time. The scars you carry can become the roadmap to your strength. And if you need more stories of survival, of finding a tribe when blood ties fail, hit that subscribe button now. Because next time, I'll share exactly how I turned my fear into a roadmap for others. How I built the systems and daily routines that keep me grounded when the world feels unsteady. Until then, keep going. You're stronger than you know.